there, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to show you what we are going to do with the 24 pack of sausages that we picked up in this week's grocery haul. If you want to check out everything that I picked up this week in my grocery haul, I will link that video up above so you can go and see everything that I picked up. But today we're focusing on the meals that I'm going to pull together out of that 24 pack of sausages, and I'm actually going to create 3 complete dinners for our family out of those 24 sausages. Now, if we haven't had the chance to hang out before, my name is Nikki. I'm the mum of 3 kids, and I love sharing all of the tips and tricks that have helped our family budget better, save more money, pay off all of our debt, and still have heaps of frugal fun along the way. So today I'm going to be focusing on a bit of batch cooking. I'm actually going to do all 3 of these recipes together at the same time. Some of them are going to go into the freezer for us to use later on, and some of them will be had over the next couple of days. But first of all, I just want to point out that I have already pre-cooked all of the sausages. So I did this yesterday. I find it a lot easier to work with pre-cooked sausages. So I cooked them, I've cooled them, they're now ready to be chopped up and to go into our recipes. We are going to make a curried sausage, a sausage casserole, very similar but slightly different, and I'm going to make a sausage and potato frittata, and I'm probably going to throw some kale in there as well because I have that in my freezer, but that is a bit of an optional extra. So if you'd like to follow along, then why don't we jump in and get cooking. I'm going to start by grabbing together everything that I need, or at least everything that I think that I need at this point. These are definitely the main ingredients. You may see me go and get a couple of extra things from the pantry that are not here yet, but they will just be staples that I've forgotten about right now because I tend to cook without a recipe, which is a bit dangerous. But there we have our 24 cooked sausages. I will slice all of those up as a first step, and I'm going to use 10 sausages in our curried sausage recipe, 10 in our sausage casserole, and 4 in the potato and sausage frittata. So from the pantry, I have just grabbed the basis for our sauces, which is going to be curry powder and coconut sauce for the curried sausages, plus there will be some chicken stock in that one as well. For the beef casserole, I am running with a tomato and mixed herb flavor with some beef stock. Both of the casseroles are going to have very similar vegetables in them. So I'm going to use half of this packet of mixed vegetables in both of those dishes. So I'll use the entire packet today. These mixed veggie packs are really easy and cheap to use for casserole dishes like the 2 that I'm doing today. And they're super cheap. These, you pick them up for less than $2 from Coles, Woolies and Aldi. I think they run at about $1.60 a packet on average between all of them. So that's going to be 80 cents for the bulk of the vegetables in these meals. The other thing that I have in the freezer that I've pulled out is I do keep the stems of the broccoli, and I will dice them up if we're not using the entire stem or it's got a very long stem on it. And I'm not going to use all of that in the dish that I'm making. I cut them up, dice them up, stick them in a bag in the freezer and keep them for meals like this to use just to bulk out with the veggies. They're great. And here we have some celery that looks very frosty, but I would have picked these up when celery is in season and it's cheap and it's a good price. I picked up a few of them and diced them up and just put them into containers so that they are ready to go in the freezer when I want to make casseroles. So I would have picked this up when it was $1 and made the most out of that and kept some of these in the freezer for later use, just like today. So half of that into each of the sausage casserole dishes that we make, the curried sausage and the sausage casserole. Half the broccoli, half the mixed vegetables, and then we're making the sauce with those pantry things there. I may thicken up the gravy for the sausage casserole with a little bit of flour, which I don't have yet, but is a pantry staple. I have the white rice out. We're not going to use this today, but to complete the curried sausage meal, I will just cook up some white rice and serve that on top. Serve the curried sausages on top of cooked white rice, which is why it's out, just to show you guys. Down this end is the stuff that I'm going to need for the frittata. So I will cook probably 2 of the larger potatoes to go in the frittata, 4 of the sausages and some eggs. I have 8 here. I may have to pinch another 2 from the other egg carton that I have in the fridge, but we'll see how we go with 8. Plus I'm going to throw in some chopped kale. This is an optional extra. I just have this in the freezer because I picked these boxes up when they were marked down to 20 cents. So I got a whole bunch of them. So we're going to use up probably half of this in the frittata. If you had baby spinach leaves, or you had some frozen spinach, or any sort of green that you might have, like even the tops of broccoli that you wanted to cut up and put in it, I think would be really nice and would work really well. And then we're going to season the eggs with salt and pepper, which you also don't see here, which I realize I've just forgotten, and the mixed herbs that we are using in the sausage casserole. The sausage casserole I will serve on mashed potato, and I may throw in a side of steamed greens as well. Something like broccoli would go really well with this, and I actually happen to have some growing out in the garden at the moment, but it is going to be loaded with quite a bit of veggies. So if you didn't want to, if you just wanted to serve it on mash or serve it on rice, you could, but that's what we're going to run with for these 3 meals. So let's get together, let's start cooking and see how many serves we can actually pull together out of this, because I know I'm going to get 3 meals for our family of 5, but how many leftovers we get as well will be a question to be determined later on in this video. Let's start by dicing up all of those sausages. I'm going to take 4 and thinly slice them for the frittata, and then I'm going to take 10 each and thickly cut those sausages into 1 centimeter chunks to go into our curried sausages and our sausage casserole. So here you can see our sausages divided up, ready to go into each dish. We have the 4 thinly sliced sausages on the end, and the other 20 divided into 1 centimeter chunks. I'm also getting the potatoes ready for the frittata. I've diced them into 1 centimeter chunks roughly as well, and we are going to get those into the pot and simmering on the side while we get started on our casseroles. Now, one thing I should point out to you guys as we get started here is that I actually don't cook with onion and garlic because of some food intolerances that we have in our family. So ordinarily or traditionally, you would make these 2 dishes with onion as the first step, but I am substituting in some celery, which is going to work in this dish in a very similar way. So you want to fry off your onion, or celery in this case, and when it is a little bit blackened on the outside, crack the curry over the top of your onion. That's going to bring out the amazing flavors in your curry before you start adding in the water to make a paste. So I've added a small amount to start off with, and then 1 cup of water, followed by 2 chicken stock cubes, and this is making the base of our curried sauce for our curried sausages. The next step is to add all of your sausages, coat them well, and let them simmer in the curry sauce. While that's happening, let's get started on our sausage casserole, and the basis of this sauce is going to be a beef and tomato flavored sauce. So we have 1 can of diced tomatoes, followed by 2 beef stock cubes and 1 to 2 teaspoons of mixed herbs. Again, this is making a sauce to coat those sausages, which we're going to cook the sausages off in, just to flavour the sausages. And one of the things that I like to do is add just a little bit more water to allow the sauce to coat all of our sausages quite well. So I'm adding another cup of water to our sauce just to ensure that all of those sausages are covered. While those two are simmering away, don't forget to check those potatoes and see how they are going. You're going to want them firm to touch, but not too soft. Once your sauces are starting to come along, you can start adding in all of your vegetables. So we're adding half a packet of frozen mixed veggies to both of these dishes, along with whatever else you happen to have in your fridge or freezer. I had some broccoli stems that were diced up that we're going to use in this dish, but I've added all sorts of different vegetables and it all works really well. Once your potatoes are just cooked through, they are fork tender, you can drain those and add those to a large frying pan along with your sausages. Now, before we forget, we do need to add the cream to our curried sausages. This is a step that I have started adding because I really like a creamy curried sauce with our sausages. You can use regular cream. I like to use coconut cream because I know that I can keep it on hand. And then check to see the flavor of your sauce. If your family really likes a strong curry flavor, don't be afraid to add another teaspoon of curry powder now to your sauce to really bring out that curry flavor. Interestingly enough, I have found that the coconut cream doesn't actually make this dish taste weird and coconutty. It actually works as a really good substitute for regular cream if you don't happen to have any on hand. Once that is all combined and mixed through, we're just going to let that simmer while we begin getting the egg mixture ready for our frittatas. I'm using 8 eggs here today, and it was enough to coat all of the sausage and potato that I had in our large frying pan. I have done this recipe in the frying pan like I'm doing here today, but I've also done it as a bake in the oven. So if you would prefer to do your frittata as a bake, then go ahead and add that to a casserole dish rather than a deep frying pan. One thing I will say is I really like to season the eggs before I add the eggs to the ingredients in our frittata. So here today I'm adding some salt, pepper, about 1 teaspoon of mixed herbs and 1 teaspoon of Tuscan seasoning, which is one of my favorite seasonings. And I'm going to add those frozen shredded kale pieces now to the egg mixture, which is going to make that easier to distribute over the top of our potato and sausages. Once that's all in the pan together, give it a good mix so that it's well combined. Those potato and sausage pieces are well coated with the egg mixture, and that kale has had a good mix through as well. Cover and cook until your eggs are cooked through. With the sausage casserole, which has been quietly simmering away over on the side, we're going to thicken the sauce with a corn flour slurry. So that is 1/3 of a cup of water plus 2 teaspoons of corn flour to thicken the sauce mixture in that casserole. I'm adding a little bit of extra flavor by adding a beef stock cube. And once that is all combined, I'm going to pour that in on top of our casserole. And as the flour heats up, it is going to thicken, and that is going to thicken our sauce, which is a nice, easy way of thickening a sauce without adding too much flavor. One thing to note though is you do want to make this slurry and not just throw the flour into the pot, because as soon as it begins to get hot, it will thicken. And if you don't mix it separately in a bowl first, it will go a little bit lumpy. So at this point, you can taste your sauce, and if you're happy with that, that's pretty much done. I'm also going to thicken our curried sausage in the same way by making our corn flour slurry, mixing that with cold water in the bowl, and then adding that to our hot casserole dish on the side. That just needs to simmer for another 10 minutes while that thickens and everything finishes cooking. And here we are, all plated up. This is our sausage casserole. I've served that with mashed potato and a side of greens. In this case, that is some Brussels sprouts. And it has made approximately 8 full adult serves. It actually made 9 serves for us, but our daughter, who is 8, had 2 half serves. So 8 serves on the sausage casserole. Our frittata was delicious. I did add some cheese to the top of that after it was cooked, and that really finished that dish off. Served with a garden salad, it would be amazing. And we found that we had 6 full serves or 12 half serves out of that dish as well. And finally, here we have our curried sausages all plated up. This was served simply on a bed of white rice, and again this made 8 full adult serves for our family of 5. So we were left with plenty of leftovers from all 3 of these dishes. Well, there you have it. All of the recipes that you've seen here today are really quick and easy to pull together. Like I said in the intro, I actually did all 3 of these at the same time, so it was a bit of a bulk cooking exercise. That puts me in front with our dinners, and it means that on those busy nights, or those nights I don't really feel like cooking, I have something in the freezer that I can quickly pull out and it is ready to go, and it's going to help with those times when you just really feel like reaching for the takeaway menu or doing something like that so that you don't have to cook. We've got these ready to go in the freezer, which is awesome. And don't forget, if you did enjoy today's video, if you found it useful and you liked it or you'd like to see more of it, if you could please give it a thumbs up. I really do appreciate that. It helps me know what kind of content you guys are enjoying, what you want to see more of. And if you have any ideas that you would like me to tackle in the future, I would love to hear from you in the comments. So let me know down below what you would like me to do my next video on. I really do like hearing from you guys, and it helps me with ideas for future videos for you guys to watch. And don't forget, if you are all about that budget life too, I would love to get to know you a little bit better. So why not head over to Instagram or to Facebook? You can find me at Nikki Beale. Pop over and say g'day. I would love to get to know you a little bit better over there as well. Well, that's it from me today. Thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy today's video and you would like to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of my latest content. I do have heaps of new content in the works for you guys, and I can't wait to share what's coming up at our place with you. Well, have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.